Hey guys, this is Pam. I thought that it might be fun today to do a little flip through of my very first Project Life album. Recently I had the opportunity to talk with Jess Forrester on her podcast Pocket Talk, and it got me thinking a little bit about how I first started out and what scrapbooking looked like in the very beginning. So I thought it might be fun. I'll give you a little glimpse through my very first album. So this is the first year that I started scrapbooking and doing Project Life. So I was inspired totally by Ali Edwards to get started with this, and some of these things are things that I pulled from the Turquoise edition, and you'll definitely see the evolution of my scrapbook as I go through it this first year of feeling things out and figuring out what I wanted to do. So yeah, I used the Turquoise edition of Project Life, one of the originals from Becky Higgins, and then I made a couple of my own things in here as well. It looks like I was already playing with digital stuff and adding text directly to the photos, and I didn't have, definitely didn't have the sizing down yet of the 3x4s and learning how to round corners and all that stuff, so it's kind of funny to look back at this now. So yeah, here's my first album. So I was going for a weekly format, and I think pretty much every week had a title card in the top left corner there. And I was adding a lot of journaling directly to my photos by typing it on there before I printed it out. I definitely had some learning to do. You can see like some of the edges got chopped off here, and learning is the process. Everyone's a beginner, right? Got to start somewhere. So at that time I was actually including a few little layouts, pretty simple and basic. These were all, there's some digital word art on there, and I made my own little strip of border or ribbon to go across there for a title with some metal embellishments. Some big photos. I've always been in love with big photos. I'm not sure how I printed this one. I think this is probably one that I had printed at like Costco or something. This was, there's a lot of good memories in here because Liam wasn't even 1 year old yet. It's first year kind of stuff. Yep, there's his 10-month picture that's thrown in there in between. A bit of ephemera, some receipts, a lot of hand journaling in addition to the stuff that I've added directly to my photos. And tags. Ah, they're in my first kit. It arrived. And more digital word art. So these are fun to look back at for sure. 6x12 added in there. And again, with just a couple of little embellishments that I made at home. Lots of different photos, mostly everyday stuff. At the time, I was putting a date on each of the photos as well. So I was aiming for a photo a day. I think for the most part, I was able to get it. Even if they were just little things like a photo of the water cooler Liam discovered that we had one that day and how to push the buttons to get water to come out. Play dates and birthday parties, movie stubs, Valentine's. This would have been his first Valentine's Day. So I included them right in there and actually just stitched the pockets shut myself. This was just, I think, towards the end of my maternity leave. This is February 2011. First shiner, poor monkey. Eight and a half by 11, big pictures. Oh, I think I was doing the yesterday and today class at the time this happened, so this was my layout for that project of day in the life. And hand drawn onto tags. First birthday. Lots of pictures, really photo heavy here, which was kind of like nice because you can just, it's a holding place for these photos that otherwise would just live on my computer, so I'm so happy to have them into an album. A little pocket that I stitched together just with some pattern paper to hold all of his birthday cards for his first birthday. So I guess this is the kind of stuff that you probably would normally have in a baby album, but I incorporated them into our big family album instead. This is actually a digital template from one of the Week in the Lives, I think, by Ali Edwards, and I just modified it with my own pattern paper to use the grids to make birthday spreads, along with some just labels, party details. And then Brett's birthday is always right after Liam's, so I did the same thing, just making a little pocket here to hold all of the birthday cards. First day back to work, St. Patrick's Day. Lots of different kinds of photos here, some of my favorites for sure. Another big, this is, I very rarely do 12 by 12 layouts. I think this was a scrap lifted one of my first attempts at a 12 by 12 size. Blank on the back still, that's okay. And new fridge, new appliances arrived, dinner. Using some stamps right on tags and just stapling them to the photos that were inside. Still lots of hand journaling in here, in addition to the stuff that's directly on the photos, so there's definitely a mix of all different things. Oh, this one was my birthday. So I think this is around the time that I started incorporating other kits and elements for the most part into my project. I had started to subscribe to a couple of kit clubs to feel them out and see which ones I liked. Different pocket orientation there. This was around the time of my birthday. I think it was my 30th? Yeah, 30th birthday. And so I received a gift in a Swarovski bag, so I just stitched it into a pocket, punched holes, and stuck the cards inside, so that was kind of fun. An email from my mom and dad, who were away on vacation at the time. Easter. And then us booking our own trip to come. More receipts. Oh, newspaper, big events that were going on at the time. This was the Canadian election. Huge win for the NDP party. That was a good one. And voting. Oh, the royal wedding. The death of Bin Laden. A little printout of the statement at the time. So, a bit of historical stuff in there. Yes, teething. This is where I started actually just writing directly on the photo. Sometimes it works out great, sometimes it still frustrates me because it never really turns out quite the way I hope. So it's something, sometimes I do, not too much. Transitioning seasons into spring. Okay, so this is one where Liam got into my craft supplies and there was red ink on everything, so I actually just cut out the piece of paper, a little 3x4 size with some of it, and then just journaled right on top of it along with the date stamp. Baseball game tickets. more vertical 4x6s aren't something that this format is really built for with these style of page protectors, so I went ahead and just cut one down to include some 4x6 photos and other ones, family photos. These are enlarged photos that didn't make it into the spread yet. Not sure what happened there, but I like still having them tucked away in here anyway. That's good, they didn't get lost. A bit more. Okay, adding in stickers to do the titles on the cards. I think my style has changed quite a bit since then. I like the more simplified, cleaner look now, but it's still really fun to look at these. I think this was our anniversary, so I had like scanned the cards that we had given each other and then made them a little fold out into the pocket here, along with some ephemera from like our Chinese takeout and journaling and some of the confetti that was on the table when we went out for dinner one night. And then a roundup of all of our anniversary pictures up to that point. And playing around with trying to, I think, make my own templates to be able to fit multiple pictures on a 4x6. One up there, there's one down here. Some of them turn out better than others. Oh, this is like, I think maybe one of the first layouts. I don't think I had even, I wasn't sharing any of the work that I had made online at this point in time. It was just purely doing it for me because I needed to document our lives before I forgot what was going on. Baseball card protectors with trimmed down photos. All right, so that's the end of the first album, just with like a blank page still at the back there. And here's album number 2. So this is still of the same year. It's split kind of in half. I made a cover page just with some, this was like a Hallmark bag, I think, that I liked the design of, so I cut down for the pockets, saying this is volume number 2, Starbucks bag. This was a envelope that had been addressed to us along with a family photo. And then getting right into it again with handwritten journaling on some cards, date stamps kind of all over the place, a title card, and on a lot of these title cards I'm starting to notice that I had included different photos and bits of journaling as well, in addition to it just being the date range that the spread covers. Still with the picture a day, so a date on every picture. I think that's how I ended up with some of them where some of those 4x6 spots might just be filled in with like a screenshot of something or ephemera of something. Adding in some extra photos, 4x6s that were captured of our cat at the time. This is kind of stuck. I'll come back and fix that later. Oh, another 12x12 layout of just, I think this was our first kid-free overnight trip to Niagara Falls. This is what was going on back at home with Liam staying with Papa. I think this is one, it was like a screenshot of Facebook comments that I printed right onto one of the core kit cards to fit into that pocket there. So that was another thing that I guess I had done a little bit of at the time, figuring out how to print stuff onto the 3x4 cards. There's lots of chipboard pieces in here and other embellishments. My niece's 2nd birthday. Lots of photos. Homemade strawberry jam. Big pictures with just a few. I've always kind of done big pictures with just a few embellishments on them. So here I had a collection of photos being on the swings, and I just added the journaling straight across the top and popped it into the 3 separate pockets. That worked out well. Oh, what was this? Bit of a Happy Meal box dinner plans for that day. I believe these pictures were all just on the same day, like kind of a simplified day in the life kind of thing, I guess, where I just added banners with what was going on in each of them. So sleep, read, drink, splash, swing, and then a transparency, and then a big flag with the date for the day. Oh, there's the rest of it. Water, grow, climb, play, snuggle, all in a day's work. Okay, trip to the beach. Week in the life. This is another one. I think it had been a previous Week in the Life template, and I just adapted it to capture a story about that day where we did like just a little mini road trip and took Liam to the Rainforest Cafe for lunch for the first time, adding in some embellishments there. Okay. This is another one, 17 months old. I just used a badge, cut out Liam's photo, and then hand wrote journaling across the page about what was going on at the time in his life, and a new tradition of marking his height on the wall. We still have that growth chart on his wall. It's so fun to be able to look back at that now. A way crazy overgrown garden. I think this is the first year we grew pumpkins. Yep, pumpkins and a cucumber in that giant mess. Just fun stuff to have documented. CN Tower, baseball game, more tags. Sleep pockets with receipts in them. Another 8.5 by 11 layout. Little collection of photos here. This is like a baseball card protector, trimmed down photos, but it's all like a sequence and a series of photos. So sometimes I'll look at my photos and think there's like way too many things in here, or like, I don't think that's saying it right. Sometimes I will look at my photo catalog and see that I have like 15 pictures of the same thing. And most of the time I would tell a story with just one of those photos. But sometimes it's the collection or the series of photos at the same time that help tell the story. So I really loved including this little collection of my Shutterbug in here. And same thing, like splashing in the puddle. All one story, but using the pictures to tell the story instead of including a lot of words necessarily. That's super fun. So definitely these are very photo heavy. Here I just did a summary because all of the pockets were filled with photos and not necessarily words. And it looks like I had started to move maybe away from adding the journaling on the pictures so much here, probably just for the sake of time. So I had just done like a week in review type card, and it looks like I stitched the edge of that pocket together and trimmed it down. So a different approach. Some more. Big photos with few embellishments, kind of a small layout. Here's another collection of photos to tell a story of like me and Liam making cookies for the first time. And then another one including some of the tags from the clothes that he was wearing at the time, almost 18 months. He was super excited that he could almost reach the leaves on the tree, the little tiny tree we had out front. More photos. To-do list, everything that I did on my day off, Wednesday circled. Title cards, journaling, stickers. Keeping it like, I'd say that this is fairly heavily embellished, but still simple, if that makes any sense, of just capturing the little stories. I'd say most of these photos are probably ones that I took, but I would frequently go and steal my husband's phone so that I could capture his photos too. 8.5 by 11, big picture. Preschool calendar, pictures. I have a photo here of my box. I think this was a Studio Calico kit that I had ordered, and I remember how excited I used to be, like so much, to get my kits in the mail every month. I still am excited. It's just a different feeling now than it used to be. So this is Thanksgiving weekend for us in Canada, so I've got like the tag there from the Butterball turkey stapled on. So a mix of ephemera still, screenshots of text messages, some over here, everyone being sick. So this is actually a 6x8 layout that I made for my text tricks class over at Big Picture Classes. And it looks like once I finished the layout, I just popped it in chronologically with the rest of the album of what was going on there at the time. So I still love the mix of sizes. There's actually 3 inserts in this week, and it lets me add in lots of pictures because they're my favorite part, as well as the words, which are directly on the photos, in some cases handwritten, or on journal cards, or even in this little bit, a bit of reflective journaling right there on the layout itself. More 4x6s. Just from a little day trip that Liam and I had. Just the 2 of us for fall. The first school picture day, proofs from his photos. On the back side, another little outing that the 2 of us had where we went out to St. Jacobs, and then an accident report from daycare that day. Screenshots of Facebook comments from friends and family, so that's one way to like include other people's voices in there, having the little bits and pieces there. And then Halloween, some artwork from school along with a photo that had been there. Love that. Go. Adding just some of his favorite things, stickers at the time, a poppy for Remembrance Day. I think this is one of the first projects that I had shared of mine for scrapbooking on the Studio Calico gallery. I included a screenshot of what that looked like at the time with some of the lovely comments. That was so exciting to and it is exciting to receive kind of positive feedback about something that you've put a lot of work into. That's always welcome. Vacation, 6x12 photo, just with a tag saying I love this picture. Collection of photos. This one, I think, this was our first vacation with Liam to Disney World. So I think that this part is organized a little differently, where each page is actually like a full day. So this was the entire day of November 12th with receipts and hotel keys and boarding passes and that kind of thing, insert of photos. And then this is November 13th, where my mom and I went to the Christmas party, just the 2 of us. So wristband, tickets, chocolate wrappers, the map, the event map for the day. And then this is kind of, I added journaling onto each of the photos with kind of a timestamp of our first trip taking Liam to Disney World for the day. Stroller, card, and probably one of my favorite photos, the Dumbo ride. That was a dream come true. Seriously, taking our little man on the the Dumbo ride. I think I had dreamed of that for sure. Autographs. So this is another thing that I taught in the text tricks class, where I had actually scanned and extracted the signatures from the characters and then just added them right on top of the photos and printed them out to this baseball card size page protector. The back side is more little bits of ephemera, or tickets, stickers, park maps, tags from t-shirts that we picked up, parking pass. It's just fun to have that stuff included in here for sure. His first visit with Mickey Mouse, meeting Mickey for the first time. Lots of photos there. Still more stamps from the day, or time-stamped journaling, little notes about what was going on. And then this is another day where I just hand wrote kind of little captions and cut out flags to attach them directly to the photos of just kind of a pool day, hanging out by the pool. Chipotle menu, that was huge. Oh, I went to a scrapbook store. We don't really have scrapbook stores around here, so I got to go to one in Florida. That was amazing, which is no longer there, unfortunately, but that was fun. I saved a little bit of sand from the beach and included our parking ticket that was, or parking pass that was on our dash for the day. So just a fun way to save all those bits of ephemera. Trip to SeaWorld. The most exciting part was pushing the button on the elevator, which he called Bah. Breakfast at Denny's. Going to visit Santa Claus. Oh, riding up and down on the elevator. I'm sure lots of parents can relate to that for sure. And then finally getting home after our trip away and back to real life again. Screenshots, making dinner plans, who was picking up dinner, who was picking up the kid. A little lock of hair, the last of his curls, because he got a haircut. Oh, Pedialyte wrapper. He was sick very shortly after that, and our time in the hospital. All still captured there. This little wristband. Getting ready for Christmas. So this year I did a December daily as well, but I still had plenty of material to include in our Project Life album. This is, I think, the one and only year of December daily that I actually finished too. So it's kind of funny that I've got this abundance of photos and stories still in my Project Life. I must have had a lot to say. Friends. Very photo heavy for sure, but still lots of stories in there too to give some context to what was going on at the time. And that is wrapping it up. So I did use the end page cards that were included in the kit at that time, but left it really pretty simple still. And in the back I included a pocket with all of, this is kind of interesting to look at maybe. I'll pull it out so you can see. So as I worked on, this is kind of like my process for how I would do my spreads. I'd go through the week, make notes and do some like rough journaling about what was going on, then make a sketch about what my layout might look like and add in which pictures go where and where I'd like the journaling to go. So this has kind of been my process all along of making little sketches on scrap paper and even planning out like inserts and that kind of thing to go in there too. Right from week 1 on, you can see them all at the top there, week 5, 7, 11. So yeah, that's kind of what I did to keep myself on track and make this project happen. So that's it. That's my very first year of Project Life. That's how it all kind of began. So happy with this project, and I love having the opportunity to look back at all of these pictures and stories too. Thanks for checking it out.